Hello, hello. I am Javon Brown. This is episode 10 of the Forever Getting Better podcast, and today is April 23rd. It is a Tuesday. And if you're listening to this episode and you also follow me on any other social media platforms, which is probably why you know this podcast even exists, then what you probably noticed is that what I said about, what I said yesterday in last episode about making a content pillar on, essentially some long form content for YouTube, and then dividing that up for both like short form videos and for audio. Well, that hasn't happened yet, right? That's not something that I've accomplished yet. So today I did record a video and I did start editing it, but then while editing it, I just realized man, this was really ambitious for everything that I have on my plate for today. So, in the meantime, I am making this episode for the podcast, and there was a placeholder video that I put out on social media just to keep up with that. And one thing that I'm realizing as I'm continuing to post on a regular basis, on a daily basis, which I still want to do, to me it's extremely important that I still do that. What I'm recognizing is that the quality of the content is just not going to be the best for the time being, because it's just impossible to do everything well in the time that's allotted, right? So right now I am actively focusing on recruiting more people for my team. I am actively working on getting this website up, and we don't need to talk about that whole situation, but that's been kind of a whole thing and taken up more time and mental energy than I feel is necessary, but can't wait for that to be done, for the new website to be up. And then also I just added a YouTube channel to the mix. So I already had a YouTube channel that was previously established, but there was no real focus to it, right? It started as what was a vlog channel and kind of was just me putting whatever I wanted online to have some type of online presence. And then that evolved into a blend of both personal content as well as content that's related to my business. But at no point was there any type of distinction or theme for that channel. So what I did was I set up a second YouTube channel today, and while there isn't anything on it currently, that second YouTube channel will serve as my official professional channel. So I have a professional YouTube channel and a vlog channel. And then, of course, there's this podcast. There will only be one podcast. I don't intend on having multiple podcasts in any time in the near future, because this podcast in and of itself is supposed to be personal, right? It's a personal brand thing. It's not a business brand thing. Of course, I'll talk about business on this, but it's about all of life, and therefore is something that is something that should be reflected, in a it should be associated with my personal brand. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, anyway, how are you? I hope you're good. I hope you're doing well. And I just I really do want to take the time to kind of point out or emphasize or just kind of say that what I'm starting to realize is that and this isn't a cop-out, right? This isn't a negative, this isn't negativity or me complaining in any way, shape, or form, but this is just something that I'm recognizing, right? Is that when you're putting content out, the content itself should be of value, and it really should reflect you and your brand to the highest degree. And that doesn't mean that it needs to be perfected, right? It doesn't need to be a perfect piece of content, but it does need to be authentic. And I think authenticity and reflecting that onto the internet and the digital platform, sometimes it does take effort, especially if you're doing it on a regular basis. And what is the cost of what we'll call immoral content, right? So whether it's short form content on Facebook or Instagram, or if it's long form content on a platform like YouTube, one thing that I'm recognizing is that content that performs for longer periods of time and is seen by more people, right? I don't want to call it viral content, but just content that breaks through the noise and consistently gets more attention is content that generally takes more effort in creating. And so I think if the intention behind what it is that you're doing is to be seen in the short term, right? Like if you're just getting comfortable with being present online, I think overcoming insecurities and judgment of others is important. And so that's where the value of posting every day on social media or on any platform, I think that's where that lies. Is like if I'm a car salesman and I've never done a Facebook Live before, then the concept of a Facebook Live is scary, and there may be a fear of judgment, especially if I'm new to car sales. But once I start doing that, it's really through the act of doing that I can then build the confidence necessary to continue doing that at a higher level, right? The Facebook Lives, just for example. But on the flip side, if the intention is to make a phenomenal Facebook video or Instagram reel or YouTube video that hundreds of thousands or millions of people will gain value from and insight from, and to truly motivate and inspire others, then it may make more sense to stay in the lab just a little longer than 24 hours to create that high quality content. And so that's what I'm recognizing now, right? Like, it isn't necessary to post every day. And I committed to this 100-day challenge, and so it's still something that I'm going to see through. I don't even think I'm officially a third of the way through yet, right? I think I'm going to be like a third of the way through tomorrow, something like that. I don't know. I'll count later. But the thing is, like, regardless of if that were the intention or not, or if that were not regardless, but the fact that is the aspiration, right? The aspiration for me is to create high quality content that people can resonate and learn from for long periods of time, right? And maybe reference multiple times themselves and get so much value from it that they refer it to other people. Well, making that kind of content just takes time. And so, there are certain people who will talk about it when it comes to like authoring or writing a book, right? Like, okay, you can write a book once, and if you're taking it to a publisher, well, an editor needs to look at it first, and the editor's probably going to have you rewrite that book 2 or 3 times. And I think that's what's average, right? Please don't quote me on this, but I think the average book is rewritten like 3 times before it's published. But if we look at like any of the bestsellers, like any of the top 200 books on Amazon, well, most of those books were rewritten 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 times, like cover to cover. Like the authors completely scrapped it and then started all over before they were fully satisfied with the product that they had. And then that's what was sold to people. And like, that's what separates a good book from a bad book. It's not necessarily the talent of the person who created the book or the knowledge that they had when writing it, but just the amount of time and energy and effort that they made into that they put into making that work of art or that book as good as it could possibly be. And so I feel like in the same way, like when it comes to videos and video content, which is something that I'm actively making along with audio content, right? Like that's what this podcast is. Well, it's one thing for me to just sit down and just talk into a microphone and rant and ramble. And I'm sure that like there are tons of people who will get like some type of value out of that, which I appreciate, like, you know what I mean? And I'm thankful that there's something for people to extract from audio clips like this. But how much more impactful would it be if I were to sit down and write a script, or just not necessarily a script, but like a guideline of like, okay, or bullet points of what I'm going to touch on within the podcast episode. And then how much more impactful would it be if I had a lineup of guests that I were going to invite onto this show? And then all of a sudden, like now this is an extremely, like, I feel like the amount of value that someone would get out of that is exponential because of just the amount of like strategic thought that I put into the podcast itself. And there's so many other ways to improve it, right? Like I could maybe choose some different music to put in the background instead of the same music track every time, and then that may garner more attention and keep people engaged for longer. I could invest in better microphones. I could maybe cut out some of the pauses in the actual audio and actually go through and edit the audio itself so that it just sounds better, like, and keeps attention high. So I think there are multiple ways in which you could improve an audio experience and make it more impactful. And yeah. Anyway, I don't want to stay on it too long. This is going to be another short episode because here I am talking without a script again. But in the future, there is going to be structure for both the video content and the audio content. There will be more effort that's put into creating the content because I think that's necessary if I truly want to give you guys as much value as humanly possible, which is the intention. Like, yes, this is a documentation of my journey and my personal development. In my personal development, like that's really what this is about. But also, like I want people to grow along with me, and I want to instill value and real mental jewels like to people through this as well. And I think the best way to do that is with structure, right? To some degree, in a way that still makes it fun and casual and cool and palatable, but also like just not so disorganized, because that's what I feel like this is right now. And so I apologize for that. Like, yeah, I've had other things going on today. I had multiple calls to make, following up with people who didn't pay invoices. I had, some errands that I needed to run when it came to dropping things off and selling some stuff and really just making my life more organized. Like at the end of the day, like I'm a single guy who lives by himself and is still trying to build a business by himself. I do a lot on my own. And as somebody who does a lot on his own, like I only have so many hands. And if I'm 100% focused on my business, then my house isn't in order. And if my house is like, if I'm 100% focused on my house, then my business isn't in order. And so really, I think what I'm looking to figure out right now is just more in line with time management, but also in like how can I actually enlist help when it comes to some of these things. And so I think it makes a lot more sense to enlist help when it comes to the professional side of things. And that's going to take time because interviews, internships, right? Speaking to people and then really seeing if they're a good fit or not also takes time and energy. Like that's an extra thing. No complaints, just a recognition, just recognizing that that's something that that will need to be addressed when the time comes. And in the meantime, yeah, like this is this episode, and my thoughts right now when it comes to high quality content being something that isn't going to be produced every day, like, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Man, this episode was super disorganized, but I hope you guys liked it. I hope you got some type of value, and I will speak to you all next time. Peace.